Hello, it's Darren from Grills Plants. Today is the 26th of August and we are here with one of our lawns, and we've had a dip in this lawn for quite some time, ever since we moved here 5 years ago. So we're going to put that right now. So what we've done is we've been saving some topsoil from when we dug out for a patio. We've bagged it up, and now it's that time of year when we can seed some grass. So yeah, I would say end of August to first week in October is a good time to sow grass seed here in the UK. So we're in Cornwall, by the way. So the items we're using a wheelbarrow to obviously transport our topsoil and then tip it, and then we're also then using just a long handled rake to sort of level it off, trying to get a level right. And our preference for shoveling is a Cornish shovel, but a spade will do the same job. So once you've got some sort of level using your rake, what you want to do is go over and pick out any of the big stones, you can find, pick them out, and then obviously dispose of them. So stones gone. Now I'm going to use my rake, and I'm just going to go around and lightly tap it to make sure we have the level we want, and then we can put it right before we scatter the grass seed if need be. What we tend to do at this stage now is we tend to stand back, look at the levels, get your eye level low to see if you've got the level that you require. So we tend to buy our grass seed from a country store, also known as a farm store, because if you go to somewhere like that, you normally buy it per kilo, and the other reason we do that is because they'll have different variations of grasses. So the one we're using here is a fine grass, okay, but you could also, if you wanted to go for a field grass, you could go for that. You'd have more options at a farm or country store. Alternatively, if you go to any garden centre, they'll sell probably grass seed in boxes, and if you're very lucky, they might sell loose grass seed as well. Grass seed has a bit of a shelf life, so you don't really want to keep grass seed for more than a year, because it won't be so productive if you left it for a year and a half. This was bought last year, so we're going to give this a go because it's 12 months old. If we scatter enough, it'll be fine. Now the other thing you can do when you scatter this grass seed is I'm going to scatter it just by hand, but what some people do, and there's nothing wrong with doing it, is mix this with some fine sand and then scatter it that way. But no, we are just going to literally scatter it. Make sure you go around to the edges, that's the most important bit. Almost overhang the edges a little bit, and I always quite generous with sowing. That's the sort of coverage you're looking for. There we are, I've scattered it all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tap it in just with the rake a little bit. Just sort of light contact really, so the seed has got good contact with the soil. Now then, as for soil, we saved ours. This is topsoil we dug out, as I said, from a patio area we dug out. But here in the UK, if you look on free sites, there'll always be people giving away free topsoil where they've dug areas out and they want to get rid of it. If you can go around, bag it up, or if you've got a trailer, even better. So you better get it for free. Marketplace on Facebook is normally very good for this kind of thing. So there we are. So once I've tapped it all in, I'm going to give it a water. But you want a very fine sprinkler on the rows of the watering can, because you don't want to disturb the grass seed too much. So this is how I patted my seed in with the end of the rake. Other people actually just finely rake over it before they do that. It's whatever works for you. That works for many people. That's absolutely fine way of doing it. But for me, this is the way I find that it works best. What I find is by sowing the seed now the end of August, or any time from end of August to first week in October, it'll establish still, because there's still just enough light levels and there's still enough warmth for it to germinate, and then it might look a bit shabby over the winter a bit, but once we start hitting spring it will thicken up. So next year you'll have that nice thick looking grass, whereas if you sow it, I find in spring it'll take maybe till, you know, if you sowed it in spring, let's say in end of March, April, then you would find that maybe if the cold temperatures at night in April are too cold, then it won't germinate, so then you have to germinate, then you have to sow it again. And the other thing you'll find, my personal opinion, is that it takes, you know, maybe till July, maybe mid-July for it to thicken up. Obviously once you've sown this as well, don't cut this area for 6 weeks, so go around the mower and just avoid this area. Once it hits 6 weeks, so put in your diary or your calendar or on your phone, 6 weeks from now, that's when you can start cutting this grass. By cutting the grass at that point, it's going to help it thicken up anyway. But yeah, don't cut it before 6 weeks. Now then, we're going to do a bit of watering. So as I said to you, you want a fine rose on it. As you can see, it's not what you call a heavy stream of water. And then just want to get it a bit damp. Now you might find the birds will come along and the birds might take some of these seeds. This is why I tend to do more than what I need to accommodate for the fact the birds are going to take some of these. That's enough of that. But what you can also do, if you wanted to, you could put maybe a few little cloche poles in and cover it with a net. The problem with that is if a bird gets in, the bird becomes trapped. So I just don't bother. Let the birds eat some of the grass seed and do more seed than what you need, and it should work out fine. So there we are, sowing grass seed. Good luck.